Welcome back to my channel. ഇന്നത്തെ വീഡിയോ കാലിക്കറ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ 6th സെമസ്റ്ററിലെ വോയിസസ് ഓഫ് വുമൻ എന്ന പുസ്തകത്തിൽ സെക്കൻഡ് മൊഡ്യൂളിലെ സെക്കൻഡ് പോയായ അമി ലോവലിൻ്റെ വിൻറ്റേജ് എന്ന പോയത്തിൻ്റെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സാണ്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സിലേക്ക് കടക്കാം. Answer the following in 2 or 3 sentences. 1. What does the poet mix in her drinks? In her drinks, the poet mixes the cool contempt of her beloved. It will be like ice making the drink bubble. 2. What are the kinds of stars the poet denotes in the poem? The poet denotes different kinds of stars. Some are large and some are small with different colors. Then there will be cool, white and green stars. 3. How does the poet feel when she swallows down the drink? When she swallows down the drink, the poet feels uncomfortable. It laughs and scratches as she swallows the wine down. She then feels as if a serpent of fire is calling and twisting in her belly. Paragraph questions. Answer the following in a paragraph. 1. What does the mixing a drink of stars means? Mixing a drink of stars means she is making a cocktail for drinking. Just like grapes of different sizes and colors are squeezed to get their juice, which is fermented into wine, she will squeeze stars to make her drink. The stars are large and she will pierce them with colorful decorative needles. She will also pierce small stars which bring out the color maroon and crimson. Then there will be cool, white and green stars. So the juice from all these is mixed to get a fine cocktail. Cocktail is a drink by adding ice to make it cool. She will tear the stars out of the sky and squeeze them over an old silver cup. She will then pour the old scorn of her beloved into it so that her drink shall be bubbled with ice. 2. What makes the poet uncomfortable with her beloved? Annie Lowell is a lesbian and she had a close relation with actress Ada Dear Russell, with whom she lived. So her beloved is not a man but a woman. In the poem we see the poet drinking the cocktail, and the ice she adds to make it bubble is the scorn of her beloved. Her beloved certainly will not be happy if the poet develops some kind of amorous relations with a man. But in the poem we see the poet drinking the vintage and it becomes a serpent in her belly. Serpent is the symbol of temptation, as in the cases of Eve in the Garden of Eden. Eve was tempted to eat the forbidden fruit by the serpent. After drinking the vintage, the snorting of the man rises to her head and she becomes hot and starts laughing, forgetting that she is a lesbian who lives with another woman, so she feels uncomfortable with her beloved. Essay questions. Answer the following in 300 words. 1. How does Amy Lowell relate the process of vintage as she shows in the poem? In the case of Amy Lowell's poetry, we often find food and drink symbolizing both erotic pressure and the torment unsatisfied desire. Several of the love poems published by Lowell in her second volume, Sword, Blades and Poppy Seal, from which the poem Vintage is taken, associate desire with sensation of hunger and satiety. These poems were written when Lowell was trying to convince actress Ada Dwyer Russell to live with her. She repeatedly asked Ada to come and live at Sevenels, her palatial home, as her permanent companion. Finally, Ada agrees and stays with Amy Lowell. During these years, Amy Poe was in confused and state of mind, although she was lesbian and she also had many male friends who would try to get into some kind of relation with her. It is said that a man's greatest temptations are 3 W's: wine, woman and wealth. Wine and woman often go together. Once people consume wine, it is said the desire increases. We see Amy Lowell is very fond of grapes and wines. In one of her poems, The Fruit Shop, she wrote, and those grapes, they melt in the mouth like wine, just a click of the tongue and they burst into honey. They are only this morning of the wine. In this poem, Vintage also, Amy Lowell relates the process of vintage and social pressures. She says she will squeeze stars of different sizes and colors into a silver cup. She will then pour the cold scorn of her beloved into it so that her drink shall be bubbled with ice. It will lap and scratch as she swallows it down. She shall then feel it as a serpent of fire cooling and twisting in her belly, arousing her sexual desires. The man snorting will rise to her heart, and she shall be hot and love, forgetting that she had ever known a woman. 2. Vintage as a poem about physical desires. Lowell's poetry expresses her radical, unashamed enjoyment of food, drinks, and affirms the delicious eroticism and sustaining fulfillment she experienced in her lifelong relation with actress Ada Dear Russell. The poem Vintage is totally about physical pleasure. It is proof that drinking wine or alcoholic drink increases testosterone levels in females. This male sex hormone plays a role in sexual desire. When a woman drinks wine, she tends to have greater sexual desire than at normal times. People often associate drinking with lowered inhibitions and feeling sexier and more confident. Here in the poem Vintage, we can see that. Amy Lowell relates the process of vintage and sexual pressure. She says, she will squeeze stars of different sizes and colors into a silver cup. Drinks are taken when they are cold. That's why we see people putting ice in their drinks. In fact, there is phrase on the rocks which is connected with drinking. On the rocks in connection with a drink means it is served undiluted and with ice cubes. In the poem we find the poet making the cocktail in a silver cup. Into the cup she will pour the cold scorn of her beloved so that her drink shall be bubbled with ice. It will lap and scratch as she swallows it down. She shall then feel it as a serpent of fire cooling and twisting in her belly, arousing her sexual desires. To add to her desire, there is the man snorting. It will rise to her head, and she shall be hot and laugh, forgetting that she had ever known a woman. The poem is thus all about physical desire. So that's all about the questions and answers in the chapter Vintage by Amy Lowell. Hope you understood well. Thank you.